Very important win for both of these players now. As we see Warrior, Paladin and Druid for Raven. And Paladin, Shaman and Warlock for Osha.
They certainly do. And let's head on into the mulligan here. And it looks like the first game is going to be Osha's Warlock up against Raven's Warrior. And correct me if I'm wrong, gentlemen, but that looks like a Grim Patron to me.
That is, or at least we could think it is, a Grim Patron here. It's going to be Zoo versus Grim Patron.
I can tell you as well, the bans for this were Osha's Warrior being banned out and Raven's Warlock being banned out. So they're literally playing the opposites of what they banned.
So I think Haunted Creeper here is probably just a solid turn 2 play. Obviously you've got the Whirlwind effect, but you never really want to use that as a patron. You want to save it for your patrons later on.
You could just play your Unstable Ghoul and hit
that you could.
Haunted Creeper, and means that
even that's what he's considering right now.
You have to use Abusive Sergeant to get through, and then that kills the Abusive Sergeant. No one likes that. It's a pretty good play into a Haunted Creeper, to be honest.
Definitely. He was hovering over Battle Rage for a while, but I don't think it was really worth the 1 card draw.
It's not so bad for him now that the Haunted Creeper wasn't killed, because you can just Abusive Sergeant. You'll lose your Abusive, but you won't lose the 2 Haunted Creeper off spawn. Spawn off, soft spawn, and yeah, you know what I'm trying to say.
I know what you're trying to say.
They still get the death roll.
You still get the death roll, boys, and there we go.
Speaking of, it is going to come out in the end. And the Corcoran Elite looks like the optimum play. Or you could swing in with the Fiery War Axe and then play Death's Bite. But he's going to go with the Corcoran Elite in the end.
For the War Chief.
Indeed. It's just going to hit face with that one. Not really too surprising. However, Implosion.
It's going to hit for 4. And then he's going to play Sea Giant later.
Hit for 2.
Told you.
There's that Whirlwind there, though. He doesn't likely want to use that
Well,
Whirlwind.
I think you do just because you're worried about Sea Giant.
Yes.
You are very concerned about Sea Giant. So we do see the Whirlwind come out. He's got the Armor Smith to follow up, just to get some board presence. But there is another Implosion in the hands of Osha if he wants to risk his luck and try and hit for 4 again.
I just say
I'm not sure I would try it, though.
I just play lower third. Or you could even Knife Juggler coin Implosion.
No, you could, but you're potentially risking some armor. But how worried are you about this Patron Warrior getting armor? Not so much is my answer. Sir Finley in the Patron deck. I like the inclusion of Sir Finley, especially if you can get the Mage Hero Power, the Fireball, which can just help you spawn even more patrons.
Priest Hero Power is pretty good as well.
Yep, definitely. You can heal your patrons back up. I think they're the 2 you're looking for. Is there anything else realistically you'd want to take? No.
I mean, Life Tap's okay.
Okay, yep.
You can
I'll give you. I mean, Life Tap
find your patrons, find your activators.
One of the best hero powers. Not going to opt for it though. He says, actually, I prefer some armor right now.
Don't blame him.
Good. I'm glad you don't blame him.
It's going to be Dark Peddler, I assume, here. And then you'll see what you get. Play Flame Imp, play Knife Juggler maybe Knife Juggler first. Spam that board.
And that's what the Zoo wants to do against this deck, is just to kind of get as much board presence as it can, so that when the patrons do come a-flying, you can kind of use your own board to deal with them.
When the patrons come a-flying, you can make sure that we got a board. Gonna need that board.
Yes, my grandma always used to say.
Everyone, get in here.
There we go. I mean, surely you could just tap first here, just see what you get. But you have so many options in hand already.
I've heard the best players tap last.
I heard the same.
I know I always do.
Why does that not surprise me?
Wow.
Power Overwhelming from the Dark Peddler. Always good to get extra damage.
Taking himself moderately low. But you're not worried about burst from Patron anymore. This is the new version. And speak of the devil.
It's not really that new anymore, is it?
Well, we say, I've seen some patrons running, I keep saying hello Leroy Jenkins in the deck for some burst. It has been happening.
That's an interesting concept.
I mean, I never really know what Raven's going to bring to the slate as such. He has surprised us on many occasions. Most notably when he brought Mech Hunter.
I always feel like bring to the table is the best expression for a Hearthstone game.
It probably was, but I went for slate because this current board, it looks like slate.
I was just an anecdote. It was just like an anecdotal thing, you know.
Which part of this board looks like slate?
Which
I'm trying to save myself here, guys, and you're throwing me down.
Slate's like a black roof tile. Anyway, back to the game. Grim Patron into Slam, what do you reckon?
I can see Slate, actually.
Thank you.
Where is Slate?
Let's just forget slate ever happened.
Realistically, the black stone around the lava is very likely to be obsidian,
it looks
surely.
like a slatey texture.
I'm surprised you didn't tell me it was
Bearing
like
in mind, when you go
or something.
mining in the Blackrock Mountain, obsidian and dark iron are the two metals that you find.
You are a nerd.
He's such a nerd.
He's just going to slam, he's going to get rid of this Flame Imp, and he's got 2 patrons on board. But there is a... can he deal with these? He could opt to...
There's a 66% chance he can deal with these.
Well, he could either... Okay. Is he just going to run... Yeah, I was going to say, are you going to use the power of Whammon to guarantee this?
That gives him a guarantee.
If he runs into the 3/3 patron, and then he can implosion this other patron.
That gives him 100% chance.
He's probably going to hit for 4.
2.
Just the 2 today, boys.
I bet he's glad he did that now.
He's definitely.
I think it would have been.
I think that was
that regardless, because it was a very good play, regardless of what it
was.
Here we go. Do you play the Sir Finley Mergleton now?
Yeah, I think you do.
Do you hero power first though, just to get some extra armor?
Yeah, hero
And then
power,
you
Sir Finley
Finley.
Mergleton, then
See what you
maybe get the mage hero power, ping your Sir Finley or ping a 1/1
Why would you ping your own Sir Finley?
to get a better battle rage.
Okay, yeah. I laughed, but yeah, that's a solid point.
I was confused for a second there as well. It's like ping it down to 1/2 and then just pass turn.
Coin Dr. Boom here seems fine.
Yep. I'm trying to think if there's anything that he could top deck that could win him the game. If he is running a Leroy Jenkins, that could, but I'm not sure he will be.
Battle rage is pretty good here from
Raven
now because he does have slight value out of it. You get 2 mana, draw two cards. Everyone loves that.
Patron comes out as well.
It's good against Dr. Boom.
But nothing apart from running his own Grommash into the Dr. Boom can deal with it.
So many options.
And
I'd just go face.
really?
Yeah.
You'd just risk it for a chocolate biscuit?
I'd risk it for a chocolate biscuit.
It looks like he is going to risk it for the biscuit of
For
chocolate.
the proverbial biscuit.
So now, do you... 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Do the boombots, can they possibly give lethal? Do you tap for lethal?
You have to tap for
You
Defender
have to
of
tap
Argus.
for something. Stop it!
Oh.
Stop it now!
Oh,
Oh, goodness.
goodness gracious.
Sea Giant next to Boom. Argus.
Yeah, but then also you may want to protect your Sea Giant and Boom from... You're going to run your Boom probably into...
Yeah, that's true. I'll give you that one.
yeah.
You win this one.
You win this one, friend.
I'll be back.
The Argus off the top is huge. It's on 1 health.
And there's no direct
Stop
damage.
doing this.
Oh, wait, no, Sir Finley Mergleton's in Mage Hero Power.
Oh my goodness! Or the Hunter hero power.
Or Hunter Hero Power. Yeah, that's gives you
definitely a thing that
a
could
2
happen.
out of 9 chance for lethal, right?
Ooh, he's praying for Boombots right now. But he's not going to find them. 4 damage to face, though, and does have to trade the Boom in.
Come on, Sir Finley, do your job.
This is it. Can he draw like a... Or can he
Execute
roll
with it.
like a king?
Execute wins as well, right? So he could top deck execute here.
Or he could not.
You Sir
Could
Finley.
not.
You go for the Sir Finley.
He's looking at it. He's thinking, this is my only win condition, really.
Oh, let's see what he gets. You guys know you get to see it.
He gets
Against
He
the
gets the
Fireblast!
fireball.
justice.
And there it is. That is how you win a game from Raven. Obviously, as the warrior, typically the win condition is that Fire Blast.
I mean, well, we said the Fire Blast is important for the patrons, but that's an even better way just to make sure you gain lethal there.
Fire Blast for lethal. I mean, what more could you want, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's always a warrior play. It was a good solid game from Raven there. Obviously, that Argus might have changed things if he had seen maybe like the Warlock hero power, the
Druid hero power,
Druid and Paladin, then he would have been a bit salty perhaps, but Justice I think was right there.
Well, speaking of Druid and Paladin, those are going to be the 2 remaining decks for Raven.
Nice segue,
like
Fred.
Thank you. And then Osha still obviously with Paladin, Shaman and Warlock to bring to this one. So, I mean, let's bring up the decks on your screens and we'll take a look at what is remaining for these players. But so, say you've just won with your warrior as Raven. Do you go for the Paladin or the Druid next to bring this one to the table?
Depending on what he's bringing. If it's a Secret Paladin, I'd just drop the Secret Paladin. I think you're going to hedge your bets and say, okay, I'm quite likely to win something with this deck. But I mean, we have seen Raven, I mean, I've just seen it on the screen, so I'm not going to pretend like I knew this was going to happen, but we have seen him bring Murloc Paladin already.
A lot, yeah.
So I'm not surprised he's brought this again.
It could either be, you can't tell from this opening hand whether it's mid-range or Murloc, but you would imagine Murloc.
Considering how mid-range has fallen out of the meta, I did say that a couple of guys did
mid-range.
use it.
It's mid-range
Okay,
Paladin.
I'm going to shut up. I'm just going to shut up. Thanks, Raven.
God damn it, Raven.
God damn it, Raven. I mean, is it the token?
It's
Was
the,
it
I think
token
it,
mid-rangey
yeah, Justicar True
kind of
Heart.
hipster deck?
Yeah, the Justicar True Heart Quartermaster deck, I think, is probably the what we're looking at here.
Did you call it hipster?
I did. I mean, it is a hipster deck.
Hipster Paladin.
Yeah, hipster paladin is my new name for it.
Well, if there's a player that likes to play hipster decks, it's certainly Raven.
Yeah, I'll give Raven that. I'm not going to directly call him a hipster. I don't want to cause offence to anyone, but he's
maybe
a very...
you just caused offence to any hipsters that are watching.
No, I'm a hipster.
I'm so sorry to any hipsters that are watching the...
You looked at the camera then.
I did. It's force of habit at this
anyone could
stage. I've been doing this for too long.
But yeah, Raven has been known for bringing interesting decks that are going to surprise his opponent. I mean, we have seen this mid-range token paladin do well from previous weeks. We saw Hello Leroy or Ball Control, one of the two, bring it, and they were very successful with it, actually. Yeah, I'm waving my hand in your face, saying, is it one of these two? And just looking for some...
Hello Leroy bought the...
nodding
the
from
token, the Hello Leroy bought the token paladin deck. It was something that he brought actually consistently every week until this week.
So the Consecration being in the hand of Raven is going to be important. But we do see the Imp Gang Boss on board, and the Nerubian Egg in the hand of Osha as well, which obviously is very strong against the Consecration.
It is, buddy. It certainly is.
I'm not your buddy, pal.
No response, just a weird giggle.
A weird giggle.
Let's see what drops from the Shredder.
It's going to be a card. There it
That's
is.
not great. Do you clear this?
You play into Consecration if you do. Well, you play into Consecration anyway.
I don't really think it's enough of a threat
No.
to bother clearing, really.
Yeah.
That's why I posed the question, boys.
It's not a great Consecration, though. You're dealing with 3 minions, but you're just spawning another one, so effectively dealing with 2 minions.
But you also get the 2 damage on face.
I mean, this Paladin deck is a deck that thrives on board control, and you really struggle to gain board control against a Zulok.
You
So
do.
it's just going to be one of those matchups that he's probably just going to have to concede, accept that he's not going to get the win. But you never know.
Wow, that's such a defeatist attitude, Dan.
I'm just honest.
You're just a realist, aren't you? You're just a
I'm a
realist.
hipster realist.
You're a hipster realist, friend.
Because, I mean, let's look at Raven's hand now. What have you got, realistically, that is going to win you the game?
Nothing.
He's got the Loetheb to kind of stop any power overwhelmings coming out. But we will probably see the Dark Peddler played to try and find those spells that he can't currently use.
Play everything. Just play everything that you've got.
Another life tap comes out. That means only 13 life taps remain until Raven wins the game.
Good calculations, nice and quick.
I
And just throwing down the Argent Squire.
I can also
and the-
divide by 2.
I was going to say, it's not the most difficult maths.
I'd prefer going, this is good. You don't have the tools to realistically deal with Loetheb without trading most of your boards. So if you've just seen one Consecration, why not just go face?
Well, you've got now the Mustafa battle with the Knife Juggler combo.
It's pretty good.
Plenty of 1 health minions on the board. and it plays into your Quartermaster. However, do you actually live until next turn to get the Quartermaster? That's the question.
That's a good
The answer
little
is
set.
yes, I think.
It's a good little set of juggles.
And then you, I guess, hit the 2-4 with your lower Theb. Or the 2-2. 2-2. 2-2.
Tap for power overwhelming.
Knife juggler implosion for lethal. Do it.
That's not a bad idea. You'd have to hit.
Hit face 4 times.
You'd have to hit face 4 times.
There's not even
I have
space.
a
There's not
dream.
even space on the board for 4 imps to spawn. So
I had a dream.
I think this is the safer play. I mean, I joked about lethal, but this is going to regain your board control back without tapping and risking your life total.
Lower Theb lives, though. No, it doesn't. I'm a liar.
Your life is
Terrible,
a lie.
terrible lie. So now, do you...
You die.
Yeah.
Come on, guys. Cheer up.
I'm cheery.
We've got to believe in the comeback.
But there's nothing.
I don't think there is a
no,
comeback. Yeah, with 6 HP remaining and not a whole lot. You can't even go with the muster for battle into Quartermaster because it's not late enough in the game. And even if you did, they'd just ignore it and hit you right in the face anyway.
Reno Jackson out of nowhere. Okay, no.
I've actually been doing really well on ladder with a Reno Paladin.
You have. You did tell me.
I don't want to brag.
I don't like to brag anyone, but I know my way around a Reno Paladin.
I just think that bringing a secret Paladin is safer than trying a mid-range.
This keeps him alive, by the way. I think no, it doesn't.
Not if he
It's just one of those games. Like I said,
concede-
Zulok just it
Not if he draws
completely
1
controls
damage.
that board.
Yeah. Unless he drew, not unless he drew 1. He needed 1 damage to win, essentially. So technically kept him alive, right? He
Well-
had 6 health and then had 5 damage on board.
I mean, yeah, he would have lived another turn, I think, but I don't
What-
really think it...
What happens about Leon Hands next turn? Leon Hands comes out next turn, gets him back up to 9
See,
health.
this is the cheerful kid that I want to see. The believing in the comeback. We've had so many top decks in the Premiership anyway. It wouldn't be too far fetched to believe it could happen again. But that is going to be the first game out of the way, or the second game. In fact, I can't even count.
So it's 1-1.
You
After
could
those
divide by,
wonderful calculations
You could divide
earlier,
by
I can't
2,
even
but you
count
can't
to
add
2.
1 and 1.
Never mind. Well,
1 and 1. 1 plus 1 equals 1.
it does.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't. You're a liar.
I'm sorry. Didn't mean to lie to you, friend.
We're going to jump into the third game of this series. It is going to be Paladin and Shaman remaining for Osha. Shaman. Or
Elec.
Either pronunciation
Paladin
is fine.
and Druid remaining for Raven.
Elec, Renault. We can go all this for days.
I've had many debates on how Shaman's pronounced.
I say Shaman.
So
I say Shaman.
this looks like there are
It should be Shaman. Really,
both mid-range decks.
I think. No, wait.
Token, mid-range, whatever you want to call it. I mean, if you've not seen Justicar, you can't really call it a token. but
Osha's brought a secret paladin again. So it's like a mid-range secret paladin, I would assume.
yeah, because I saw... What did I see that suggested that it was mid-range? It had a Quartermaster in.
The Osha secret paladin? Or do you mean the Quartermaster deck from...
No, Osha's Secret Paladin had a Quartermaster in the mulligan.
It did?
I believe so.
How did I miss that?
Unless I'm going completely mental.
I would be super surprised.
Okay, maybe I'm blind, but that's what I thought I saw. Thanks for backing me up, guys.
I'm sorry,
Thanks
buddy.
for looking at the mulligans.
I just think Quartermaster is just a terrible 5-drop unless you're planning on playing around Quartermaster Muster for Battle combo. At which point that's an 8-mana spell combo.
I may have seen it in Raven's hand. I don't know. Production's top and bottom is confusing me.
They're both Lady Landred at the end of the day.
They are.
Yeah.
They are. We're all in agreement.
So the zombie chow nice and early on, that's better for Raven.
Mhm.
Also, I think a very important factor in this game is going to be the fact that all 4 cards in the hand of Raven are golden currently,
That is a huge deal.
as well as a golden paladin.
That's a huge deal, friend.
Could be a big factor. Or it could not.
Unfortunately, he's already got an Avenge down, so he can't
Oh
play
my
that
goodness, a
Avenge again.
5th gold card.
Holy macaroni.
Was the Coghammer golden as well?
No.
Oh.
You can tell by the way it's not golden.
Oh, Munch. Ever the buzzkill.
Yeah.
Sorry.
You're not really getting my sarcasm today, are you?
No.
I don't even think that was sarcasm. I think
No,
he's
I don't think
Okay.
it was.
Dave comes online.
Joins the party. Oh my goodness, this is derailed.
When do we?
Thank
Oh
you.
my God, there's
Sweet
actually a quartermaster.
justice.
That's
I've
actually
nearly
a
caught my
quartermaster.
Just nearly
I
destroyed
knew I wasn't crazy.
What is this?
I was thinking I was going to hospital tomorrow to check my eyes.
What is this witchcraft?
But it's something that Raven's not going to be expecting.
Yeah.
If he throws his muster out
Damn.
here,
Muster here, coin
coin
haunted
dude,
creeper,
or coin dude.
or coin dude. Yeah. Get super value.
Not going to coin dude.
I think that gives it away, I suppose, in an
Yeah.
element.
Yep, definitely. I'd still like an apology.
I'm sorry, there was definitely a quartermaster in Osha's deck, as seen by his hand right now.
Oh goodness.
Oh
Well,
goodness.
Well, the quality coming out is part of a combo that can deal with any 3/3s that this quartermaster does. Produce.
Do you think?
was it Noble Sacrifice, the secret?
No, it's an avenge.
Avenge, was it?
Do you think Raven trades into one of them? Do you think he trades the? That's not good for Osha because now Raven trades in.
Yeah, that is a shame.
Consecration's pretty good here, though, right?
Yeah, that's fantastic. That is a great top deck.
He already had one in hand as well.
He already had one in hand. Maybe I do need my eyes checked.
Just play Avenge.
Just
here.
rebook
Yeah.
that doctor's appointment.
Yeah, just and play avenge.
Yeah.
Hit some
Obviously,
people.
go face.
Yeah. Turn 6 play from Raven.
Dude, keeper.
Keeper, yeah.
And I always hate when I've got those keeper of ornaments
He
in my
has a
hand.
Quartermaster too.
He
Yeah,
does.
He does. We saw that, yeah.
And that was why Keenan questioned my call earlier.
It
Not
was.
that I'm going to bring it back up or anything. Pilot Shredder is actually that's a nice drop.
That is pretty
You
decent.
could dude coin Quartermaster.
You could,
but-
you can get some value. You can get 2 quartermasters.
2 dudes.
I guess, do you use it as maybe a burst kind of lethal potential
You want.
as a surprise element?
You really want to commit to 3 dudes before you go
I
full
mean, he probably
Quartermaster.
runs another muster for battle in this deck.
I would imagine
So
so.
you might see a turn 8 kind of muster for battle quartermaster play. Or even a turn 10 quartermaster with a muster for battle and a dude to get 4 of them. Munchables.
Let's be honest, you love 4 dudes, don't you, Dan?
Not sure I'm going to replace that comment.
I'm more of a fan of 5 guys personally.
5 guys is great. But Dan's 4
4
dudes.
dudes.
Dan's 4 dudes.
I'm going to make a new burger chain. 4 dudes.
4 dudes, yeah. Of course.
3 blokes.
Dr. Boom coming out. Interesting to see he didn't trade into the Shredder there.
Oh, Haldor as well. What is this secret paladin deck? This is like full mid-range secret paladin deck.
And I like that these players are bringing things that are a little bit off meta. They are trying to surprise
Haunted
their
Creeper.
opponents.
This is going to be that'll be the 3rd Haunted Creeper we've had in play. One of the spectral spiders tanking that up for him. And the spectral spider tanks the other. And then you're going to play that Dr. Boom. Raven's sitting here like, what? what
Raven's
is
just like, what just happened?
what is this deck?
But we saw it actually before Secret Paladin became big. There was a mid-range pally that did run a couple of secrets. They did run these quartermasters. It had stuff like Sylvanas in it as well, and it did work. It was a relatively kind of nice deck that controlled everything if it had the chance to control, and especially against another mid-range-ish paladin, it's always going to do pretty well. But we do see the Sylvanas dropping from Raven.
So, how do you feel about trading your Haunted Creeper in and then your Owl the Peacekeeper? And
I think you...
or you can just Owl the Peacekeeper in and consecrate and play Piloted Shredder. Or you play Piloted Shredder first.
I know what you're saying. You're saying, do you want to try and give him one of the spiders?
Try and give him one of the crappy spiders.
And that's what's hard playing against the Sylvanas, is you don't know whether to trade in and try and risk it by giving them something, or whether you just ignore it and let them kind of play their own game with it.
I'm assuming that we might see an equality at some point then from Osha, given his deck list.
Quite possibly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, when you consider how many 1/1s there are already,
Yes.
it makes a whole lot of sense. Here we go. It's going to be the 3-3 wiped off the board, and that is just kind of opening the options for when Sylvanas dies. I was going to say trying to make sure that you steal the Shredder, but in fact, just going to kill the Shredder.
It's
in the
too
end.
risky at 13 health to leave that Shredder alive.
Yeah, true.
But you know, this is limiting the worst options for the Sylvanas now, which is kind of a good thing.
Do you now keep Revolderman your Sylvanas?
I would probably even think about keeping Revolderman my own Dr. Boom at this point, or at least when I've chunked enough of these
Well,
1/1s down with it.
My thought process was kind of you can keep the Sylvanas as a threat on the board. Dr. Boom can still continue to clear the 1/1s that keep on being spammed out during this game.
It was interesting that Raven did decide to trade out the dude rather than the spider. So he was kind of suggesting, okay, maybe this guy does have a quartermaster in his deck.
It's like, why not play around it?
Exactly.
Now that you've seen the Aldor as well. Okay, he's going to just consecrate here, I imagine, and just try and give the best opportunity to steal something rubbish.
I mean, your best target here is the Haunted Creeper, yeah?
Yeah, the Haunted Creeper. No, the Spectral
Best target's
Spider.
the dude, so you can quartermaster him.
Haunted Creeper is the worst target,
What, that? Why?
because now Raven gets 2 free Spectral Spiders.
Yeah, that's what I mean. The best target for Raven. I mean.
Right, yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
I thought it was the worst target for Osha. The best target was the Spectral Spider.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you both agree, just from
we do
different
agree, yeah.
perspectives. There we go. Keeper Revolderman going to buff up the dude. And I guess you just kind of keep Revolderman and lower Theb here.
It's fine. Keep a Alderman. Your Haunted Creeper. Play the lower Theb. And then you can use your 3-3 to trade into his 3-3 and use your True Silver to trade into the 3-4. And you're looking pretty healthy. You could even trade into the 2-2.
No, he could get some value out of this quartermaster.
Yeah, Muster for dudes could be pretty good here.
Mustard for dudes.
That's a shame.
Blessing of Might.
Blessing of Might, give a minion 3 attack.
That would have been
I mean, you could do
lethal
it
if the lower Theb hadn't come down.
Yeah, so you could dude and quartermaster here go face and then just hope that your Blessing of Might next turn has some value. As in he doesn't manage to clear the entire board, which given his current... If you get 4 minions on board, he can't clear the entire board.
He does have equality, but the thing is, he needs something else on top of that to
Don't
finish off this
okay,
board.
he's going to train into the Haunted Creeper to give some 1/1s, and that's going to try and...
But that means equality can now clear the board, especially when
With
it's
the
comboed
Consecrate.
with the Consecration.
But a true silver off the top for Osha would win in the game.
Yes.
If he's got any sort of charge in his deck, which I don't think he does.
He could run an Arcane Golem. And this quality is pretty safe right now for Raven, because he's already seen 2 Consecrates from Osha.
And
Puts him on a
also,
timer as well, because he has lethal next turn, and that's not going to save Osha. Just needed one of those minions to stay alive for either his Blessing and even a Blessing of Kings would help.
Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't have made a difference now because of the Consecration, but if he hadn't traded into the Creeper previously, then he may have been able to keep his minions alive.
Yep.
At least one of them.
That's gonna feel good for Raven, because he was kind of on the back foot for a little while there, and that was a nice feeling for him.
I've got to say, that's got to feel awful for Osha as well. Drawing 2 buffs is your last 2 cards. Like, all game, just desperately searching for those. If you know they're in your deck, you're just searching for them, waiting for them to come out. And for them to be the last 2 cards before you concede, it's got to be pretty painful. And I mean, not the greatest of final draws for him.
What's important, though, is that Raven didn't see either of those cards.
Yeah, that's
so
true.
There is still going to be a little bit of a surprise element when that deck is played
100%,
again.
and he doesn't quite know what's in this. I mean, we don't quite know what's in this deck. It's like a mid-range aggro hybrid. It's got the secrets, but it's also got these elements of, Blessing of Might, Blessing of Kings. So yeah, I think it's a very interesting deck. Looking forward to seeing it be played again. And Speak of the Devil, we will see it played again.
Yeah, looks like we will. Is Raven going to be going on to his Druid, his final remaining deck, we are going to see this Paladin once more. And Justica Trueheart.
Justicar as well in the deck. So it is like a token.
Yeah. I mean, if you're
Paladin.
running Quartermaster...
Yeah,
feel
but
like
it
Justica
there's the
is-
secrets as well, I think, through us.
It's a very token-orientated deck then, based around buffing your tokens up with Quartermaster, with your buffs, all that kind of thing. So that's it's an interesting one.
So Innovate Shade is going to be the starting play coming out from Raven here.
That's a pretty nice starting hand for Raven
Yeah.
as well, having the swipe to deal with Muster if that comes out. The Wrath, obviously, of course, a nice removal, and the Keeper of Graves. So just nice 3 little removals there to deal with any aggression, any early aggression. As we see the Savage Roar off the top, which does suggest this is a combo Druid. And it will be the last time we will ever see combo Druid played competitively. Unless someone brings it in the next game, of course.
Well, at least the turn 9 combo Druid. I imagine there'll still be Savage Roars in Druid
oh yeah,
decks.
I mean, and that's what I'm really happy that they nerfed Force of Nature rather than Savage Roar, because it still rewards board presence
Exactly.
from Druid.
It rewards mid-range Druids that can maintain board presence, and that's good, because that's how you want that.
Because that's what Druid's about. It's about having the Innovate, the Wild Growth, getting ahead on board. So yeah, I'm glad with the nerf.
Wow, this is a full token Paladin deck. Gormok the Impaler already there as well. Like the Wild Growth here.
I was about to say, do you coin Wrath, but decided not to go for that one. I mean, you could have just got rid of the dude and drawn a card as well. But there we go. Blessing of Kings.
I kind of would have preferred the Keeper of Old Man to get another body on board.
I think especially considering that now ramps up to a 5/5, it is an immediate answer. But Keeper of the Grove just also more than adequate to deal with that. Shapeshift to finish off the turn and the dude. And now the question is, turn 5, you've not really got a good play in terms of using all of your mana. You're not going to be able to stay on curve, but another Blessing of Kings comes out, and that's going to be pretty annoying to deal with, to be honest, for Raven here. You don't want to have to keep on dealing with these buffed up versions of the minions.
Swipe will be the only answer he has from hand. He could Wrath and Hero Power, that's taking 5 damage
You
to the
could
face.
trade Shade in.
He could trade Shade in. I mean, end of the day, there is this fallacy that you have to keep your Shade cloaked for as
Well,
long as...
it's like an argument at the moment, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it's
Between
a-
a lot of people and a lot of streamers, they're kind of saying, use your Shade to trade when you can. I mean, it feels like a bad trade in this instance. I don't think there has been a good trade for the Shade. No rhyme intended there.
Hashtag Shade Trade.
Hashtag Shade trade.
You have to use your Shade to go face at some point, right? Or at least start getting some value out of the damage.
It
Or just save
completely
it
down
until...
to a player's
Preference, yeah.
preference and play style. I don't think there's either a right or a wrong way.
There is a fantastic turn here. There is the swipe is available.
It is indeed. Does mean you can't play your Boom, however.
I'd say it's worth.
Yeah,
Personally.
it's a pretty good swipe.
Completely clear the board. You could even just simply hit face with Shade at this point.
I think you do. It's a 7/7, right?
Yeah, you just start to actually get some use out of it because
But if you were going to hit face, you would have just done it with the 6/6 anyway, because then it wasn't a BGH target. I think now he's just going to let it ramp up and say, I'm just going to wait for the combo.
I'm going to hit you for 24-24.
Well, because if he's thinking about this deck, he's going to be saying, okay, there's probably going to be healing in it. He's just going to want as much burst damage as possible.
And go for
Finally, they're going to go face with it.
Yeah. You, at some point, you have to say, I want value out of this card.
Unfortunately, the Ironbeak Owl is just going to shut that Shade down.
I love how the icon for dude when it's under Justica True Hearts, like the Men in Black guys, like arms folded back to back.
It reminds me of, did you ever play that game where you played two brothers that had to stand back to back on the Xbox? I don't know if you remember, Army of Two. Did you ever play that game?
I never played it. I know what game you're on about.
Yeah, it reminds me of Army of Two. I used to love that game with my brother when I was younger. It was pretty sick.
Nice.
Nice.
Cool story, bro.
It was a brilliant story.
It would have been, I think I would have related more if I'd ever played the game, perhaps. Anyway.
The Keeper to deal with the Boom. I think that's fine.
Absolutely.
Savage Roar is getting pretty vicious right now, though.
Yeah, well, if he hadn't,
Definitely getting close.
If he hadn't keeped the Boom, Savage Roar was lethal.
There's a Emperor as well. Would you just play the Emperor here just to try and reduce some mana cost of your combo later on?
Yeah, I think playing the Emperor's fine.
You could even hero power on top of it just to deal with one of the dudes.
Oh, that's a 4 damage to the Keeper of Older Man as well.
Yeah.
Not what you want to be seeing.
He's gonna be hoping this Boombot doesn't hit the egg. That's his main concern here.
Agreed.
I think Emperor is fine, just trying to reduce the cost of that Savage Roar especially. But really, at this late game, it doesn't make too much of a difference. No, a 4-mana lower theb is always going to be nice. Is just going to opt to go for face, which I'm not entirely surprised with the Savage Roar in hand.
A little bit too risky as well to trade the Boombot in and risk just bringing out another 4/4 because you don't have an answer for it.
This is a good turn for me as well. You double dude, Gormok the Impaler, the 3/3, trade your 5/4 in, then maybe try and deal with the Boombot.
Then you're worried about combo right now.
I mean, you can't play around combo. So
well, if you lay on hands,
no, but you can't. Even if you lay on hands.
You still die.
You still die because you can't deal with the entire board.
But you
I mean, there's the 8 damage on board right there.
Yeah. You could, in theory, kill the Emperor with your 5/4 and then kill the Boombot with the Abusive Sergeant.
But that's still 8 damage with Savage Roar. Oh no, I get you.
And then lay on hands as well.
Yeah, I get you now. So it would, but it's a very.
It's how scared you are of Force of Nature Savage Roar. I mean, 6, 12, 14. You are just that. You would have just been out of range, I think.
1 damage.
But I think this play can win you the game.
Yeah,
that play can keep you in the game.
Keeps you alive. Doesn't win you the game, however.
Well, luckily for him, combo hasn't been drawn anyway.
Lilitheb will lock out Lay on Hands next turn.
It still could be drawn.
We'll see. Wrath going to come on out. And actually, you're right. The 8 mana would have been enough because of the Emperor reducing the cost of Savage Roar. Boombot going to be able to take one of these out as well.
And this Lilitheb could play a very important part because it will mean that Osha is unable to play the lay on hands and will give Raven more chance to draw into the Force of Nature.
9 mana Consecration, you can't do that either. Do you just have to, though? Do you have to 9 mana Consecrate at this point?
Yep, I think that's pretty much all you can do.
That was such a painful turn.
So Force of Nature
Innovate drawn, so still no combo. He's still in the game. This is basically just praying for no combo right now.
And even with the lay on hands now, that's going to make
that's awesome.
That's going to put him out of combo distance.
Yeah.
Tyrion Fordering also a pretty good way to deal around combo.
What's your preference here, Kin? Lay on hands or
I think lay on hands is fine because you just.
You're still out of combo range, so it's a safe play to go for.
Just either Haunted Creeper or Double Dude. Double Dude is also pretty good.
I think with Quartermaster and things in the deck, Double Dudes.
You're looking for lethal next turn, so you're right, Munchie.
The Shade's interesting, actually. With the Shade on board as well, is there a possibility of lethal before he dies?
No, because Tyrion.
Well, Tyrion, that stops everything.
Put your face in the light.
Well, if he somehow draws combo and a silence, then yes, maybe.
Well, you can't do it all in one turn, right?
Innovate, boys.
Still not enough mana.
Stop breaking his dreams and crushing his hopes.
Because silence is 4 mana, because Druids only run Keeper of the Grove. Unless it's like a random Iron Beak Owl.
I think usually here I'd be tempted with the Juggle into the Haunted Creeper into the dudes, but I think Tyrion is the safest play.
Yeah, you need to play Tyrion realistically.
The shake of the head from Raven. It always hurts when the...
What is it with these 5-game series? I mean, we're just assuming right now, but...
Because these players are... This is what I was expecting to see every week, to be honest.
Off the top is the Source of Nature, so Tyrion saving the day. He doesn't... Yeah, there's no way he can get around that and do 19 damage. Even he's only got a 3/2 shade to add to the 14 damage of combo 15 with the Innovate. I mean, he dies even if he clears.
He's just showing him, I think, to say if you hadn't have played that, I would have won. It's a salty way to go about things.
That's what I always do.
I do the same. I'm like, well, I would have won, but you ruined everything with a Tyrion.
And that's the point at which your opponent would use the sorry emote that's going to be removed.
Yeah, sorry, it's going to be removed. I just can't believe that sorry
Unlucky
emote's
mate.
I can't believe it's been removed.
I
Like,
always
why
use
not
the
just
sorry emote.
introduce...
I'm sorry every single time I
Why
get a
not
four
introduce just an
implosion.
auto squelch, or like in an options just squelch an opponent automatically, and then you can leave sorry for the people that like saying sorry.
Next, we're going to lose well met.
Sometimes I forget to play my turn.
Well met.
I forget to play my turn, and I actually say sorry because I've left
You
it.
don't, Dan. All of your sorry are BM.
Okay, yeah.
I say sorry a lot.
So 2-2.
Yeah.
We are going to another game 5, and the final decks are Druid versus.
Shaman.
Ooh. Okay,
Shaman.
so
We
it's
imagine.
going to come
Who
down
gets
to
lethal first?
Yeah, it's going to be a bit of a race. They're going to fight for a little bit of early board control.
I like Face Shaman into Druid because Druid does classically lack good removal.
Druid's got some removal.
Yeah.
I suppose good removal. It depends what you consider good removal. It's not got enough removal to deal with the amount of threat that Shaman has.
It's got nothing that can deal with feral spirits, for instance, or spirit wolves. You know, there's nothing that can really deal with the spirit wolves.
Double wrath.
And that is a
Double
pretty
wrath, but
nice.
that's
He's running Loot
expensive.
Hoarder as well.
Yeah.
In his Face Shaman deck, and the
Interesting
Flame Tongue
tech.
Totem.
Yeah, it's an interesting tech. Tunnel Trog there.
Oh wow,
What a great start.
that is just having the Sophinly or the Tunnel Trog.
If someone could just cap Osha's face at that moment, I think it summed up his Mulligan face.
Hunter Hero Power.
There we go. Hunter Hero Power on the menu. And he might even coin the Tunnel Trog.
Yeah.
Whoa.
I'm sorry.
Let's just get rid of all the emotes while we're at it.
Yeah. Sorry's not making a difference to this game, but
I mean, he can innovate out the Shredder. That's a pretty solid turn. That definitely answers that board. There's no spell.
Tunnel Trog,
but
Rockbiter
you could
weapon.
Rockbiter,
Yeah.
but obviously the Rockbiter doesn't build up the Trog anymore. Just leaves it as the normal 1-3. He's going to want something little to come out of this Shredder.
It's not awful.
He can deal with it.
not
Yeah.
ideal, but not the worst either.
It does put him into swipe range for the next turn.
You can either Hero Power one of the Tunnel Trogs or get your Shade down.
I think Shade while you've got the opportunity early, I think.
I like the Hero Power because the Tunnel Trog can get ridiculous in the next few turns.
I suppose both of them, yeah. But then there's a very nice curve coming out for Raven.
Yes.
You can Shredder into Druid into Emperor.
I mean, the Druid of the Claw,
Oh my goodness.
that's a bit of a presence because not
That's a
only is it
card?
a 3/4, that's a card!
That's a card.
Not only is it a presence, but it also obviously buffs the Tunnel Trog as well. The Druid of the Claw is going to play an important part in this matchup. Just any taunts that Raven can get, just to try and hold off this barrage of damage that is going to start to hit him in the face.
Well, it's going to be the Living Roots drawn. And I think right now he's just praying for swipe. Needs that ASAP.
Crackle is a nice draw here.
Still not mana efficient, but I mean,
No.
playing as a shaman, nothing ever really is. Obviously with the overload effect. And a 1/1 that you can just clear.
That's ideal.
Everything going in the way of Osha right now.
I hate that power. It's the worst card. I used to play exclusively pirate decks, and it's so mana inefficient. Anyway,
The Rockbiter off the top does allow him to deal with this Druid of the Claw without trading his whole board.
He needs to use it. You want to use it with that Doomhammer, but at this point, you can't.
Oh,
right?
I mean, at this point, you just want to be putting as much damage into the face as possible. The Ancient of Law off the top for Raven could help this matchup. Obviously, being able to heal for 5. The Ancient of Law is another card that has been nerfed, or will be nerfed next week.
I like using the Tunnel Trog there because it means you're kind of playing around Wrath
Yeah.
to the best of your ability.
yeah.
Another Druid of the Claw and an Ancient of Law that can be played for 4 and 6. I mean, it's not looking completely unwinnable for Raven right now.
Do you just lightning bolt the Theresian, trade your
Your
loot hoarder into it?
I think you have. Against combo druid, you can't leave a Emperor up.
Lava Shock's nice for next turn. Should he draw something?
I personally don't like Lava Shock in this deck. I know some people don't run it anymore. It has kind of fallen out of some Face Shamans, but when it works well.
For sure. Living Roots for 0 on the Knife Juggler. This is starting to regain a bit of control here for Raven, and he has the heal of that Ancient of Law too.
But that hero power is just going to be chipping away slowly and surely. So the Ancient of Law is going to be very important. And then if he can draw into
Some form of
Force
burst.
Nature, Savage Roar soon, it's definitely winnable. Wild Growth isn't going to help too much.
He's going to heal himself. I like this.
Oh yeah, of course. He can clear both of those as well. He still can't get past that taunt.
I think at this point, you're Osha.
I think, yeah, a big issue right now when you're Osha is, like, you don't want to use all of your spells just to clear minions.
Yeah, he has to kind of get rid of that shade, I think.
You do, yeah.
Yeah.
You're now hoping you draw into some face burn spells, essentially.
Need some lava burst up in here, but swipe is going
Swipe
to be
as well,
drawn.
just more removal. This is looking really good for Raven now, actually. He was
best-
shaking his head earlier. He wasn't happy about this matchup, but actually it's now starting to swing his way.
This is why I like Ancestral Knowledge in this deck, and why I feel like it's pretty essential to your win condition. Once you run out of the cards, just unless you're basically top decking for lethal, you're in a really sticky situation.
The fact that, ooh, a Doomhammer now, that's going to feel really bad taking 8 to the face.
Are you going to take 8 to the face?
I mean, you do, because that's your only win condition, really.
Yeah, because next turn you're hoping for...
I mean, for what? I mean, even with Rockbiter, you
Well,
still lose.
He's used both rock bars, right?
He has, yeah. He's used both swipes lethal.
Yeah.
And wow, it wasn't looking great for Raven, but he has taken it, and he has taken this series 3-2.
He has indeed.
So Osha, unfortunately, again, just not able to grab himself any of